Yo, what is up, guys? So, as you know, the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition, the Trilogy for San Andreas, Vice City, and Grand Theft Auto 3 has gotten a serious update, and it has taken a couple years to get it down, and I actually was able to play around with it for a little bit. I wasn't really being too serious or going to do a serious playthrough, just to kind of like see the textures and how they went around with. Now, obviously, they fixed a lot of the aiming dynamics and everything like that, so I believe that. But I was really concerned about one thing in particular, and I was really hypercritical about it because I noticed it while I was playing San Andreas. The reduction of fog, or the no fog that they had, it was a reality shock. It kind of showed me just how one graphical effect can make the world seem bigger than it actually is. And then you fast forward like 20 years later, and then you see what it actually was, and you see the simulation you were playing in. Without a doubt, it was a shell shock to me when I saw that map without any fog. But then they put some fog in it, but my brain was just seared with the foglessness of the original map. For the definitive edition, of course, because they didn't add the fog. But once I checked that out and I wanted to see how much of the fog like hides the rest of the map, it was a step up, but it wasn't quite what I thought it was going to be. So obviously the part that I cared most about was more of a graphical issue, because I never really had much problems playing the game or getting through the storyline or remembering the story that Rockstar was trying to tell us. It just never really felt remastered. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other things people are realizing are better, and if you get joy from those, you know what? More power to you. But let us not forget, this was 2 years later. Now, I'm not gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater, but this update felt like what should have been given at launch. Honestly, this definitive edition that they released when it first came out, yeah, there were a lot of problems with it. There were a lot of bugs, a lot of things that people were pointing out, and all of those were completely valid. It was the fan base pushing back against a product that was super rushed, and they were just trying to keep us pacified while they worked on Grand Theft Auto 6. It kind of just felt like that episode of SpongeBob where the Krusty Krab gets bought out and the Krabby Patties are just made out of gray sludge. And you just kind of saw that it wasn't the heart and soul that the original ones got. But they swapped out the sludge Krabby Patties with the actual natural Krabby Patties. Or in another sense, they switched out the original launch of Definitive Edition that seemed a little hollow, and they filled it up a little bit. Now, obviously, I could look down on this all I want, but I do want to give some positives. So I was playing around while I was driving a car at night on San Andreas and Los Santos, and let me tell you, the new lighting looks really good. Everything about the car movements, it just kind of seems like it has a whole new life to it, I saw. So visually, once I saw all that stuff go down, I was very pleased. And honestly, when I really play more of this when I get time, I'm just saying I'm expecting good things to come my way. And honestly, the graphics side of it was like really the only thing that I really recognized, just because I wasn't watching too much content that was like absolutely dogging on this release. But that's a lot of the stuff I just noticed with my own self. I try not to have other gaming channels influence my thoughts, so I just feel like everything that comes out of my mouth is my own original opinion. But all of my issues were basically graphical or, checkpoint related. But over time, they tweaked the game, they fixed that up, and I was actually able to play through it. Play through San Andreas, because I actually still played Vice City and Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition. Because, let's face it, GTA 3 was also gloomy enough to the point where it hid most of the map, and then you had Vice City, which was never really a big map, so it never had to have too much detail hid. So those ones I really didn't find too much issue with. It was mainly San Andreas where you remember what a game changer that game was. It was the biggest Grand Theft Auto map we've seen, and it was also the most diverse, and I think that's what made the game so special when we used to play it like 20-something years ago. But seeing how they've at least touched up on it, even though the fog isn't as thick as I would like it to be, and that this game should have come out like this from the beginning, I guess you could say this is a bittersweet glaze over of the game. But it's definitely incentivized me to revisit San Andreas and just give it another go and see how I like the full experience with all the things that they've added. And you know what? Since I already beat the game without cheats, I might actually just be kind of using cheats this time just to make it a little bit easier, just to kind of reward myself a little bit, to feel like I'm kind of breaking the matrix a little bit. But you know what? That's where I'm going about it. But yeah, next time you fire up a Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition, just expect a little bit of an update and then expect some graphical differences that are going to be actually noticeable. Because where this update shined through, it shines through. I know that there's a lot of pessimism that could be going with a late update. That just, yeah, like I said, this is the way it should have been when it came out. But holding on to bitterness and resentment for long periods of time, it just isn't good for the mental health. But that's all I got to say. I'm going to go play this game. Peace out.